This is Gary Butterfield.
This is Cole Ross.
This is Monster My Podcast.
And this is The Revenant.
There's a monster in my podcast.
And in a million years, you would not have convinced me that I was going to get bored with undead spirits seeking vengeance. When we started this show, like, what's going to get boring? Well, definitely goblins. Okay, And then maybe, dragons. There's a lot of dragons.
Yeah.
But just the same, like minor variations on undead things seeking vengeance.
Right.
I am so done with it. I am not here for this anymore. Like, enough of this guy.
Yeah. So there are some cool things about this. The fact that it retains all of its faculties, but continues to decay. That is cool to me. The idea that this isn't just like a shambling zombie, no matter how much no matter how much the illustration makes you think that might be the case. No, this is like a person who is with it. In fact, you have to have heroic stats in order to get animated afterlife.
And so I like that. I feel like these should be subsets of any number of things.
Right.
Corporeal undead. So I like that. It's just it seeks vengeance. Its parts still move if they get cut off. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
And just wants revenge, which we've seen before as well.
Yeah. This feels more like a campaign hook than something that ought to be a monster in and of itself, right?
Yeah.
The idea that either like a character that one person plays or an NPC who is leading people on, because they even say this like in the ecology. However, if the Revenant faces a powerful foe able to destroy the Revenant's new form, the Revenant may decide to use adventurers as pawns in its quest.
Yeah. Which is all well and good.
Right.
I just think that this is kind of everything that this contains. One, that function is duplicated by ghosts or specters or any number of the things we've already fought, or like fought. This is
that we've slain. I don't know if you realize this. We are slaying these monsters as we go.
We're killing every monster. The things we've already dealt with, So I feel like the cool things about this are implied in other things already.
Yeah.
Or like a creative DM could easily add them.
Right. Or just make this idea up.
Yes. Yeah. It's not that like an undead spirit seeking vengeance is not a varsity level creative writing project.
Right.
Like this has been done.
Yeah.
He's finding himself. The two things I think are interesting to me about the Revenant. The first is that so that bit that you can when you get murdered really, really terribly, you can become a Revenant if you have these really good stats.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about a Revenant hunting down somebody with really good stats, tearing them apart, that person making their 5% Revenant roll, coming back as a Revenant, and then it being like a dog barking at itself in the mirror for like eternity. And that's my campaign hook, is 2 Revenants that keep lucking out on their rolls and just seeking vengeance like the Prestige.
Yeah, it's like the two families in Team Fortress 2, just like constantly railing against each other like this.
Yeah. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So that is the first thing. It's like the dog barking in the mirror, and I can't remember the fucking second one because they're boring. So like I'm kind of trying to scan and see what the second interesting thing is.
A detail that stuck out to me is that these are not inherently evil, and as such, like anything that they are not like normal undead insofar as like the bog standard ways that you would have to deal with them. They cannot be turned. They are not. Repelled by holy water or holy symbols like that. So that is also cool that they operate on this different plane.
Yeah, they're like just vengeance monsters.
Yeah.
Because they're still not. They're not evil, but they don't maintain their alignment. Like they have their actions dictated, which is what alignment does. Is the uninteresting thing about alignment, and that's still true of these things. Like their motivation is writ into the character.
Right.
So while it's not evil, like mechanically, it is still functionally like a one-note critter,
Right. Yeah.
Which is kind of a bummer. Like, you're not going to have interesting talks with this thing. I mean, obviously a good DM will do whatever they want, but the as written, it's a mono tool.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is like getting a like a apple peeler machine as a monster though.
Yeah. It makes Alton Brown mad.
Yeah, and of course it does. Like it makes him mad. Alton Brown hunts it down. It kills Alton Brown. Alton Brown then comes back as undead Alton Brown.
Yeah. How do we know this hasn't already happened?
Alton Brown doesn't age.
This is true. In
I was
fact, he just gets more handsome and more vital as time goes on.
And in like a little bit like kind of a weird wily way. Like in a way that definitely feels like there's some kind of Faustian bargain at work. Like right. He knows something we don't know as far as secrets to immortality.
Brought to you by our backers at patreon.com/DuckFeed.tv.